Hey guys, so I'm here to read chapter 3. It's super quiet right now because Emma's taking a nap. So can you believe in chapter 2 that Jima possibly did not pay the bill? Pretty strange, huh, for grandma behavior. So chapter 3 is called Never Been Seen Before. By the time Scoob and Jima have set up camp, aka parked their RV at the campsite, in the hills of Alabama, Chihia State Park, and connected Jima's fancy water filter and hose to the spigot at their campsite so they won't run through what's in the RV freshwater tank. The drooping sun has turned the sky of colors. Scoob's favorite fruit, a sweet Georgia peach. So it seems like they're setting up at an RV camp. In fact, Scoob snagged a few from a bowl on the kitchen table and stuffed them in his backpack while on the way out the door with Jima this afternoon. Come to think of it, the bowl was empty when Scoob left for school this morning. He'd eaten the last two the night before as he sat through the show Dad was making him watch on National Geographic about fiercely territorial nature of hippos. Which means Dad refilled it at some point for Scoob because Dad doesn't like peaches. Always says they're the pits, and then he laughs at the corny dad joke. When had Dad done that? So it almost seems like as if Scoob is recognizing the fact that his dad doesn't even like peaches. He refilled this bowl, so he almost has this inkling that he knows his dad cares about him, even though they have this crazy relationship. Ready for adventuring, Scooby-Doob? Whoops. Jima giggles as she approaches the picnic table where Scoob's sitting, drawing pine trees all around the spot where he circled the park. They're on the map Jima gave him. Well, at least that's what he was doing before he got all googly-eyed over the peachy sunset. Sorry, Jima goes on. Forgot I'm supposed to drop a doob now that you're practically a grown man. She winks at him and pats the top of his head. Aw, come on, Jima. How about you come on, she says. We've got a short hike, and I'm going to get you to the peak of this mountain before the sun disappears. You carry this, and she sets a wooden box on the picnic table in front of Scoob. The hinged lid is ornately carved, and it's about the size of his high school math book. He freezes. Jima's treasure box? He looks over the loops and swirls and leaves etched into the top. The box is a reddish brown, and he knows it's made of rosewood because Jima told him years ago when he first noticed it sitting up on her mantle. I'm going to go back and just show you guys this box. Oopsie, there you go. There's Jima's treasure box. It was the one thing that was always off limits in Jima's house. Scoob never touched it before. Okay, that's a lie. As soon as he was tall enough, age 7-ish, he reached up and touched the lacquered side just because he wasn't supposed to touch it. Looking at it now, though, Scoob gets smacked again by the fact that he's never seen it not on the mantle. Never see the inside of Jima's house again. Stick it down in your knapsack, she says, which she wants him to carry her treasure box in a backpack up a mountain. What if she's only taking it up there to toss it over the edge or something, rid herself of what she liked to her home? Scoob doesn't know if he could handle that. He gulps. We're taking it on a hike? That we are, she says. Now scoot your boot. And she walks off without another word. So in that section, I'm noticing a lot of, he's thinking about what used to be, where he used to see this treasure box. He'll never see it on Jima's mantle again. Thinking, why are we taking this with us? Is she going to get rid of it just like she got rid of her house? So, okay, watching the sun go all the way down from the highest point in Alabama is kind of neat. In fact, Scoob looked forward to getting back down to the campsite so he can add a sunset in the margin of the road map. Well, ain't that something, Jima says from beside Scoob. They're in the observation room at the top of an old tower, which the pamphlet says was built in 1934. Can you believe Bunker Tower had been standing for 9 years by the time I was born, Gma says. It's magnificent. It's something, all right. Scoob gives a wary glance around the interior. He sure hopes it doesn't suddenly decide to crumble. I've been waiting 51 years to see this view, Scooby-Doo, Gma says. That gets Scoob's attention. 51 years? Yep. Scoob shifts his gaze back out across the landscape. Why didn't you come before now? Wasn't ready. No idea what that means. Really? Not ready? Now? But the world ain't slowing its spin. Okay, Scoops, go ahead and open the box. The box. Scoop forgot he was even carrying it, though come to think of it, his shoulders are hurting from the extra weight. He takes a deep breath, shrugs the bag down, and drops to a knee, unzips and pulls out the box. Stares at it. It won't bite you, Gma says. Well, at least I don't think it will. She smiles and pats the top of his head. Scoob runs a thumb over the brassy latch. What if what's inside isn't all that exciting? It'll ruin the whole thing. Scoob would never admit it to anyone, but there are books he's never finished because he likes imagining all the things that could happen. Knowing what does happen would take the fun out of it. Scoob's mom pops into his mind unbehidden. Her name is Destiny, but, well, he's never met her. He knows she left when he was a baby because she wasn't ready to be a mom. Dad told him that part, but he doesn't know much else because the one time he did ask her, Dad made it clear he didn't want to talk about it. So he just makes things up, though he'd never tell anyone. In his mind, she's been everything from an astronaut like Mae Jemison, Dad's aeronautical engineer and has a picture of Mae in her spacesuit on the wall in his office, to a brown lady Indiana Jones going on treasure hunting adventures. She's an unsolved mystery, his personal treasure box. So Scoob's way of dealing with the fact that he doesn't know something or can't finish something is kind of interesting. The fact that he won't finish a book because he doesn't want to know the ending because he wants to just think about it. He doesn't know who his mom is. So right now he's just making up these stories of her. Kind of interesting. He doesn't want to open this treasure box because he's afraid that once it's open, what if it's not exciting? What if it's not that interesting? And now he's holding Gma's treasure box. He's imagined it containing everything from his granddad's ashes to the bones of some beloved pet to heaps of glittering jewels. He imagines the vines carved into the lid coming to life like wooden snakes laughing at him the moment he tries to lift it. Well, Gma says. Scoob closes his eyes and flicks the latch and shoves the lid up, peeks inside through one barely cracked eye. The contents are unexpected. Voila! My greatest treasure. There's an old radio tucked up against the left side, plus some matchbooks and a few postcards. There are guidebooks to places Scoob's never heard of before, and some newspaper clippings. A series of weathered road maps, not like the one Gma gave him, a small photo album, and a little green book called The Traveler's Green Book for Vacation Without Aggravation. The cover says it in bold white letters. The Green Book is from 1963, and it is not even this century. Wow, this thing sure stirs up memories, Gma says, grunting as she bends at the waist to remove the green book. It's about the size of the postcards. Scoob watches her flip through it like she does a deck of cards before dealing Texas Hold'em. What is it? He asks. Something that helped keep a lot of folks like your G-Pop and me, for that matter, alive back in the day. Scoob zeroes in on the cover. It features an image of two women. He can't tell what race they are. Everything is tinted green, surprise, surprise, leaning over a small boat beneath a sky full of fluffy clouds. Really? Mm-hmm. She sighs and taps the book against her palm. Hate to tell you this, Scooby-Doo, but travel around the grand old USA Wasn't always a safe thing for people who look like you. This was a mean place back when G-Pop and I were young, and this book existed to let Negro travelers know which hotels and such would accept them as customers. There are even some other countries in there. Here, she hands Scoob the book. You hold on to it. Might learn you something. Scoob flips to the book to check out the back, then shoves it in his pocket without a word. Now grab that Alabama map, if you will, please. He rifles through the rest of the stuff, looking for what she requested, and finds beneath it a napkin with a circular stain on it, probably from a cup of coffee. It's weathered and pamphlet style Alabama printed vertically in bold letters on the front. Open it up. There's a route highlighted, broken up by circled spots with handwritten notes scribbled all over that cuts straight across Georgia, Alabama, to the Alabama's midpoint in Birmingham, and that veers southwest to the state's opposite border. Can you see what's circled just below it? And to the right of Anniston? Scoob holds the map a little closer. Chehaw State Park, the highest point in Alabama, is scrawled above the green spot. In awe, Scoob looks all around him, then at Jima, who nods. Just once. 51 years, she says. Then she begins to sob like Scoob's never seen before. So we're going to talk a little bit about this green book. Ms. Ferlin and I are actually going to post a little video for you guys to learn a little bit about this quote-unquote green book. It's actually the part of this book where we're going to learn something historical that happened here. This is the true part of the historical fiction in our book. The Green Book is a real document, and we will learn a little bit more about it in a video and an activity that Ms. Ferlin and I have planned. Okay, hope you enjoyed chapter 3. Don't forget to do your jot, and we'll see what the Green Book's all about.